A lot of the times I ask myself, well, what is love? How does it feel to be loved? Not like a familiar love, not by a friend love, like to actually be loved. And it's like I've seen different ways. Sorry, I've seen different ways, yes, people experience love. And then when I look at it, maybe it's because I haven't experienced it. It's why I say to myself, how can you call that love, you know? I've seen love displayed through verbal abuse. I've seen love displayed through physical abuse. And then I ask myself, well, why do you stay? Is it worth it? But I know how it feels to want to see the good side of people. And, when you're sitting there dwelling on the good days that you think, the rain stops at some point, but then, what happens is that you hoping for that. Well, this is what I think from the outside perspective, is that you hoping for it to stop. Well, it's always going to be there, regardless of how sunny a week may be or 2 weeks of sun. The rain will come again and then they'll storm down on you, and that's not okay. And at first, from the outside, I didn't understand things, but then when I was put into the shoes of those actually going through it, no, I wasn't physically abused. No, I wish I would. Let me just say that. And I'm not like laughing at it, but I mean, like, I wouldn't allow myself to, like, sorry, no, that doesn't sound right. Sorry, no. But I mean, for women, it's different. For men, like, a man fighting a man back, that's different. But, like, women can also put their hands on men, but, retaliation, the same way a man puts his hand on women, retaliation, that's why, it's like a battle, and it shouldn't be a battle. And that's why I feel like it's love. It should not be a fucking battle. But again, as I was saying, when I put myself into the shoes of those people, and well, for me, it was more of verbal abuse. And, at first, it was just clear skies every day. And I was sitting there hoping that maybe it would look like this forever. And then what happened was, well, the rain came, and what happened after that? It didn't go away. There was a few days where they would stay the same and things would be okay, but then what happened again? It started fucking raining, and when it rained fucking hard. And those days destroyed me. But then still after that, just like others, I sat there hoping, maybe things would change. Maybe if I spoke up about it, it would make things easier. But no, it didn't do anything, because not all ears are hearing one. So as much as you voice how you feel about something, depending on the audience, well, the message you're trying to relay is not a message that's going to be understood, and they're just stuck to their old ways. And that's something that you can't change about everyone. When someone has decided that this is just who I am and this is who I will be, well, their mind is made, and there's no amount of staying and trying to change that person that we can do to make them someone else. They're just always going to be that bad person. And like, I just tell myself, like, I feel like even though I haven't experienced the full love yet, I tell myself, maybe love doesn't bring discomfort. Love doesn't make you hate yourself. Love doesn't make you question if it's love. And I just feel like, you take people for as they are. Everybody's different. Everybody has, like, things that they're dealing with, and it's about acceptance and understanding. But there's some ways that no matter the mask you try to put on that person, the bad will always be bad, and there's nothing that you can do or say to change what that person's nature is. Like, you can't right somebody's wrongs, especially when it's a real just fucking wrong. Like, if it's something like a mental issue or something, they push you away sometimes, because, well, they're not used to having someone around like that, and someone actually loving them, that they just, like, can't stand it. But I feel like things like that, it's understandable. But like, people who love you, I feel like love isn't loving you on one day and not the other, choosing you, having you second place and choosing others over you. Can you tell me that's love? No. And you see, that's why I just can't settle for for less, because again, I know people are different, and maybe the ideal of love in my head is not exactly how it looks, but it's just that for me it is. Like, I've tried different times to try to like go through things differently, but every time it's like I tell myself, this person being uncertain about you, it's not love. You know why? That's because there's going to be someone out there who will hold you like you're a prize. They're going to care for you. They're going to treat you like it's the best reward they've ever gained in the entire world. And you see, that's what I wait for. That's why settling for me was never an option, because I it's like when you know your worth so much more than these mixed signals, and again the uncertainty about you, because it's like, what aren't you searching about? Like, look in front of you. I know that's right. I know that's right. But honestly, love, it intrigues me. It truly does. And one thing about me, it's like, I'm full of love. I say it all the time. I am. I'm very caring. I'm very compassionate. I love, but still not enough to make me settle for less than, I really hold myself high towards the sky. That's just because I know the love that I possess and the love that I'm willing to give. But the thing about it is that not everybody is worth that. Because again, how can you give me 25% when I'm willing to give you 100? That's unfair, I just couldn't stick around with someone who just pick and chose when they wanted me. Like, no, babe, you gonna have to want me forever. The same way I'm gonna want you forever. We're gonna get married. If we start dating, then we get married, let's say like in a week or something. I don't know. Maybe even, actually, a week is kind of pushing. I would say like a few days, maybe like 2 days. No, I'm just joking. But for real though, that's just because me personally, it's like, again, when you're alone a lot, I always speak about lonelinesses, but it's just that you get to know yourself, you get to know your capabilities, the traits that you possess, how you're able to maneuver around things. That's why for me it's like, I know that I have a really heavy heart full of love, and it's like, this heart, it's not meant to be possessed by everybody. That's why it's like my heart, it's a sacred thing, because when it does crack from certain individuals, when I feel like the time is right, and again I'm shown that it's not, those are times it's very hard for me, because again, having a heavy heart is that when you give it out and it's gave back broken, to repair that, it takes a lot of time. When I gave mine away, and then I got it back fucking cracked up and destroyed, it took me a lot of time to rebuild and come back from the 100%. And for other people's it's different. Like, for other people it's different, like moving on is easier, but for me it's like I really carry the damage within me, and it's something that I'm reminded by almost every day of my life. So those little things, it's not something that just goes away after a few weeks, after a month or two. For me, it takes a lot of time. That's why when my heart is broken, I can't do it again for maybe almost a year, or even like, no, I couldn't even say less than, because every time it takes a lot of time for me to rebuild. It takes a lot of time for me to trust again, because when trust is broken, it's not something that you can just build back in just a week or so. It takes time to build trust. And with me, it's like with the big wall that I have built up, that when I let it down and then I let an intruder in to just destroy me, I have to build that wall back up. But then the thing about it is, when I build it again, it's even higher than before. So now I'm even more wary, and I don't know. I'm unsure. Do I want to try again? Do I want to do this? Because now it's like, after it's fucking hit down once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, then when you're at the 5th time, it's like a wall that was once here, now it's all the way up here. So now you're really never sure, because it's just that when you're faced with the same thing over and over again, it's not something you want to keep experiencing. But maybe it's because, for me, maybe it's because I'm not learning, but I feel like I am. But it's just that, again, when you feel like someone is so true and real in front of you, because when you're so used to not having anyone there, that when someone comes in, at first they come and they just show you signs like they're sure of you, like this could work out. And you know, you can't, again, with the person I am, it's like I can't blame myself for that, because wanting to see the good in people, believing in people, is just something that I was taught to do. That's why when people come around and they just destroy me and break me down, it's like, you know, I ask myself, why, you know, why did you do it again? Why did you try again? Why did you let your guard down again? That's why I'm scared, and that's why I don't chase, because, you know, the letdown for me, it's something that I've been met with almost every single time. So now it's like I don't even want to try anymore, and it's like, can I feel bad for that anymore? Can I? I feel as if I can't, because again, when you're just destroyed over and over, and you're showed like we can half love you but not full love you, it's like at a certain point, that's what you start to believe that is all you're capable of. Half love, 50%. But still, you know, regardless of even saying that, I still have this little tick in my mind saying that, you know, there's someone out there who will take you for as you are, someone out there who will love you no matter your flaws and actually treat you like you're delicate. But, you know, for now, you know, all I could do is wait. All I could do is wait. You know, I've been waiting. You know, check the times. 20 years. When does it end? When does it end? But I don't know. Love is very interesting to me. It is. That's why I really look forward to it, just to see something, experience something that I haven't experienced before. Maybe this time will be 75%. Maybe I'll get closer than before. Who knows? But that's why I'm excited, because I always like new experiences and new things and getting to see another side of myself. That's why I look forward to the day that I could be loved 100%. And you guys too. You shouldn't settle for less than your worth, okay? And people who love you are people who look out for you. Someone who loves you won't allow you to go down a path of chaos. Someone who loves you will want you to change for the better, not for the worse. And that's Pressure's message for today. And I hope you guys have a lovely day, evening, night, wherever you are in the world. And if there's no one out there who loves you, well, guess what? I do.